Hey guys, Matt721 here, and today I'm going to be doing another video on Power and Revolution Geopolitical Simulator 4, and this time I'm going to be doing one. So, I have been doing the Terror in Nigeria one, and it's alright, but I think I wouldn't really be playing this game if I was just playing that one. Now I'm going to get onto the ones that I really do enjoy, and I think you should be able to tell that I enjoy this one more, because I think, sorry if the last video was a bit lackluster, but... So yeah, so this one is a terrifying mix of different countries and groups that all hate each other and all want to basically secure power or get some other goals. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the countries. So first up is Syria, is the one I'm probably going to be playing as today, and they have the strongest army that's fully deployed on the front line. It's the fight. They're slightly in a bit of trouble financially, but it's nothing too significant. So I'm going to be playing as them, and just a quick disclaimer, I'm really not focusing on the political side of things. I know this is literally called Geopolitical Simulator 4, but my political ideas, views, whatever, aren't really going to come into this. I'm just going to see this as for what it's worth, and just for the sake of the video, I'm not sure. Whatever ideology you agree with, in all honesty, it's just not... I don't care. I'm just going to be labelling all of these baddies for the sake of the video, because they're not supposed to be... They're terrorists, basically. I'm going to be describing this as Syria and the International Coalition as the goodies, and these are the baddies. And I'm sorry if I offend you, but it's just easier, and it would be a bit more, it would be worse if I said I got my own ideas into it. So, there's Syria with the strongest army, there's the Jihadist Caliphate with a massive investment budget, nearly 100,000 soldiers, but all of these countries hate them, so it's not very good. And so these guys start off with 80,000, the Syrian Brethren of Islam, and they're probably the ones I'm going to be doing next, and they've got 80,000. They're mostly, I think they're only fighting Syria and Russia, so not too bad. The Kurdish Renaissance, they've got quite a big budget as well. Oh, I didn't look at this budget. Oh yeah, they've got a good budget. They've got a fairly big budget, and they've got 50,000 fighters, and they're not fighting Syria, so they're quite good. They're only fighting Jihadist Caliphate, and so they might be quite good as well. And last and probably least, to be honest, there's the Total Jihad. They've only got 9,000 fighters total, pretty poor budget, 180 pickup trucks, 259 mercenaries, only 1.5 million supporters, and yeah, I might not even play as them, honestly. And some other countries that I may or may not play as, I may do a Russia one, because they're doing most of the bombing, so they're kind of a Syrian ally. Iraq I might do, because they have some of their cities are controlled by the Jihadist Caliphate, so I might do a shorter series on expelling them from the country. And I'm not going to mention them, but I'm going to mention them, but I'm not going to play as them. Is Turkey, and that's the main. They're doing a bombing campaign of the Kurdish Renaissance, which basically makes all of these, which is basically the one thing, apart from obviously the fighting Jihadist Caliphate, the one thing that makes it, not the perfect things to just accuse accumulate soldiers and launch a massive offensive into Syria. So, without further ado, I will take control of Syria. And once again, I'm not doing any political themes with this, I'm just playing the game for what it is. Let's start. See, I think that, the notice that comes up is very relevant to this as well. It's just a game, really. It's not be offended, and once again, I think this, I'm just calling them the goodies and the baddies because I need to, because it's a game, because it's easier to talk about, and that's all there is to it. So, I am excited for this. It's probably my favourite. It's my favourite to do, and once again, this is just the brief that will show you all the scenario, which I've basically just summed up.
2016 promises to be a milestone year for the global conflict against the international Salafist terrorist organization that wants to establish a caliphate in the Middle East. Coalition forces, to which it is necessary to include Syria's regular armies and Iraq, represent around 1 million men in total, and facing them, the jihadists, are bolstered by 100,000 extremely mobile men who benefit from substantial financial resources and very efficient recruitment channels. Western countries, using prudence, have decided to not disembark troops on the ground and have opted for targeted and intense bombardments. In this complex situation, let us not forget the other forces that are participating in the combat. Other militia and jihadist terrorist groups, Syrian rebels who want to take power in the country, and Kurdish forces likely to recreate a large Kurdistan in the north.
Yep, so that summed it up. And we'll just take a quick look at the mapping of this battle before I kind of get into it. So, this blue area is the area that I control. The areas that I control. Yeah, so as you can see, I don't really control a lot of this, and as time goes on, I'm likely to lose some things to the to jihadist caliphate predominantly, but I'm not too worried about them for the time being. I'm more worried about the Brethren of Islam because they're not so much condemned internationally. It's mostly just Syria and my close ally of Russia that is helping me along the way. So if we have a look at, because obviously the scenario is war in Syria and Iraq, not just Syria. So next, if we had a look at probably the biggest threat early on, it will be the jihadist caliphate. And they control, I think, a lot more than I do. They're everywhere. They've got here, well, they've got a city there anyway. But there, I think I've got Aleppo for the time being, but Aleppo will probably be stormed by quite a few other areas. And then if we take a look at here, they span all the way into here. They've got Mosul, they've got Baqida, yeah, and they want to kind of they want to control this sort of area, which they probably will do later on. I think they'll quite easily get shoved out of Iraq, but that's left down to chance really. So the next one I want to talk about is the Brethren of Islam, which control two main areas. They control this area, the Idlib Governorate, and they're very highly concentrated in here. It's not, this alone doesn't really make them look a threat, and they've also controlled Dara down here, and it takes a lot of sacrifices to be able to push through there, but I think I will eventually. And I think when I do the fighting, this or next video, I will probably focus on them first, because I can let the coalition bomb these areas and take a few of their cities, and that should force them into surrender. As for the Kurdish rebels, Kurdish Renaissance, they control the northern part, really, and this bit over here, northwestern Aleppo, and I don't really want to mess with them for the time being. They're not exactly pushovers, but at the same time, they're not going to be the absolute end of the world. I'm just going to try and rebuild Aleppo if I can. Don't know why I'm doing that, because it'll probably just immediately be seized by some of these. And the final one, Total Jihad. They currently have one city, I think. Just this one up here. And they're going to be defeated pretty much without my help. I think the Brethren of Islam will probably defeat them for me. Which is why I'm going to be focusing on getting them out of this southern part here. These two cities. I'm going to be getting them out there so that they're trapped up in here, and me and Russia can bomb them, get them out of here. Then I'll try and go for the Jihadist Caliphate, and that will just leave me against the Kurds, and I should be able to deal with them pretty quickly, because it will be the full force of my army, or what's left of it. But because I'm not directly at war with them, I can build up my troops first before I attempt to conquer them. Oh, so I'm just going to be mostly focusing until the Total Jihad are destroyed. I'm going to be focusing mostly on defending from the Jihadist Caliphate, and just, yes, did you see those bombers coming across there? They're starting to bomb various places.
This is a comp.
I might have to sacrifice this city because it's going to be pretty hard. I think there's a lot of rebel camps, and it's going to be pretty hard to support them. Support the city. Yeah, Russian bombers are there, and they just bombed the city, I think.
You have to
Oh, this person doesn't like me. That's
hot.
not very good. I'm also gonna. I don't know how good Syria's secret service is. It's probably not amazing. But I'm just going to. Yeah, see, all of the terrorists in the country currently have ground in the country, and that can't be good. Yeah, so they all have ground in the country. So I'm just going to make sure I infiltrate all of them, and hopefully, maybe, I doubt this will happen because I'm not amazing, but I could get them going for good. I think if I'd been Russia, which is one thing I might consider actually, I could create a network of agents and then create one in Syria and dismantle some of these without. But I think because they're so big, it would be pretty hard to do, and it would take a long time. And I think because it's the 2016 version, we have a 2-year limit, so we're slightly against the clock, but we should be okay. It might just end up like the Nigeria scenario where we have to do that. So their city is now being taken over by the Syrian Brethren of Islam, and Jihadist Caliphate are trying to get into Idlib. I think that's how it's said, but they can't. The Battle of Jishashugur failed. Why are we losing relations with Iraq? I'm going to look into that. Riots in Aleppo, that can't be good. Oh, there's another battle going on here. Yes, yeah. So it's mostly a 3-way battle between Jihadist Caliphates, Brethren of Islam, and obviously the government. but it's... And then you've got the Kurds in the background, just waiting for their moment, and hoping they're also fighting jihadists, as have been said.
The rioters.
So yeah, what's this thing to do with Iraq? I think it's probably to do with the jihadist caliphate battle, because jihadist caliphate they are stemming from Syria, obviously. Yes, see, in the time it's taken, they've already lost 13,000 men in this small fight, and they've only got 2 million sympathisers. Which even Nigeria organisation had a lot more.
In a press release,
Oh my god, they're all claiming... Oh, I thought they were all claiming responsibility, but it's just jihadist caliphate. Now, I'm not really sure, but... See, we're learning this passive...
The rebels have stopped.
Fighting isn't really my... I don't like doing it. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's... As far as I can... What's that?
We put in
I just
place
heard
a range of security measures to monitor the
heard
main
explosions.
strategic points of the
Good.
highway network. But another group has claimed
The rebels.
Just gonna check some things. Oh, we have a national service, that's probably why our thing is so high. I think later on I'll increase popularity as well.
The last bastion of rebels has fallen.
Victory
It is
against
the
the
end
total
of this
jihad.
organization.
And I did absolutely nothing. It was the Brethren of Islam that did it all for me. So now's the bit where I can start
We have
attacking.
the rebel move.
So I need to put this down pretty quickly. Oh, these are tanks, I need to be a bit careful. I might have to let that city go. Yeah, see, if I look at this, how many do they have left? Yeah, see, again, in that, probably about, in 2 weeks, half their army's gone. Well, not half, probably more like a third. A third of their army has been knocked out in a week, in 3 weeks, and this is because of all the coalitions bombing, and I've done nothing about that, and obviously it's partly down to the Brethren of Islam, but which would be one argument for keeping them alive. But in all honesty, the longer it's just going to take ages for me. So I reckon I'm going to start my attack on this area, this southern area, because they're very close to my capital city, and I don't want them to get there. I know the Jihadist Caliphate are kind of close, but they're not. It's not the end of the world. It's yep. See, it's got my picture for the victory, but still, no, it's not good. And now this is kind of what I had feared. They're in that city. They're probably going to claim it, so I might retreat. I know. And hopefully get out of there while I still can. And see, ideally I'd want the Jihadist Caliphate to destroy the Brethren of Islam as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because the Caliphate will fall very quickly.
Members of this, our services have
Definitely in the next 2 years, because they'll keep bombing them until they no longer exist. Well, they'll still exist, but they won't have any soldiers to act.
After they're incurred.
So this is my least favourite part of city battles, but, you know, it's still a city battle, so I do really enjoy it.
After they're
It's one of my favourite parts of the game. But it's when the soldiers are gone from the streets, and you've just got to force it.
after they're in.
And also these notifications every time one soldier gets attacked. It's not amazing.
After they're in.
Yeah, see, I think every time a soldier gets killed, it tells me about it, which a lot of the time I see it.
After they're
So it's... I don't really want to destroy all of this. Wait, it's Battle of... Oh, why are we trying to... Wait, did we claim... Oh, I thought the Caliphates were defeated already then. Why are we in Harem? We didn't even have control of Harem. What is this? Okay, so now we're gonna slightly start crumbling, which isn't ideal. But the jihadists are getting bigger, so... And they're already at just under 50,000, so... Next episode, because I think I'm gonna end this video pretty soon. Next episode, we will probably see a massive crumbling of the jihadists will get bigger before they get smaller. So with that, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.